So in last lecture, we have studied the concept of surface tension. We have defined it and we have seen its units and dimensions as well. So today we'll see some factors which affects the surface tension. Okay. Now surface tension is very sensitive. Okay, to the contamination of liquid surface. So the first factor which affects the surface tension is contamination of liquid surface. Now as the impurities are added in the fluid, the surface tension remarkably changes. The change depend upon the degree of contamination as well. Now, a highly soluble solvent like sodium chloride, when it is dissolved in water, it increases the surface tension of the water. What is sodium chloride? It is common salt. If it is dissolved in water, it increases the surface tension of water. Now, the second factor which affects the surface tension is the presence of dissolved substances in a liquid. Now, the in case of highly dissolved substances, now soluble molecules are strongly attracted by the liquid molecules. So, if the substance is highly dissolved, okay, or it is able to highly dissolve itself in a water, now the soluble molecules are strongly attracted by the liquid molecule. So the force of attraction between the solute molecules and the liquid molecules, they exceed force of attraction between the liquid molecules. Getting it? So the force of attraction between the solute, that is which is dissolved in the water and or the liquid, and the force of attraction between the like molecules of the liquid. Okay, so that force of attraction between the solute and the liquid molecules, it exceeds the internal force of attraction between the liquid molecules. Therefore the surface energy and the surface tension of the fluid increases. Okay, what happens? The surface energy and the surface tension of the fluid increases. The example of this case is mixing of sugar or salt in a water. So what happens due to mixing of sugar or salt in water? The surface tension increases. Why it increases? Because the substance which is dissolved in a water or a liquid is highly dissolvable, okay, or it is highly soluble. Due to that, the force of attraction between the solute and the liquid molecules is more than the force of attraction between the like molecules of liquids. Therefore, the surface energy or the surface tension tends to increase. Now, in case of feebly soluble dissolved substances, the force of attraction between the liquid molecule is greater than the force of attraction between solute molecules and the liquid molecules. Therefore, the liquid molecules have tendency to move inside the solute molecules. It comes to the surface. The example of this case is mixing of detergent or a soap in a water. Okay, so what happens due to this? It decreases the surface tension. In this case, if the uh, substance is feebly soluble, okay, and it is when it is dissolved in the water, it tends to decrease the surface tension of a water or a liquid in which it is dissolved. Now it is observed that surface tension of water is around 0.0727 Newton per meter. Okay, when a detergent is added to the water, its surface tension reduces to around 0.0035 Newton per meter. Okay, so this is the effect of mixing of detergent or soap in a water. It reduces its surface tension significantly. Now when soluble impurities in the form of phenol or camphor, okay, which is partially soluble in the liquid, it again causes decrease in the surface tension. So depending upon the presence of dissolved substance in a liquid, the surface tension tends to increase or decrease. Okay, if the substance is highly soluble, okay, so it increases the surface tension. If it is feebly soluble, it decreases the surface tension, and if it is partially soluble, it again decreases the surface tension. Now there is an effect of temperature as well on the surface tension of liquid. It depends upon it has a different effect on different types of liquids again. Okay, if for that the liquids are like categorized into two types, that is associated and unassociated liquids. Okay, so again different liquids will have a different effect of temperature, surface tension of different liquids will have a different effect of temperature on them. So certain liquids will have a tendency to increase its surface tension, while certain will have a tendency to decrease its surface tension with the temperature. So this is a small topic of factors affecting the surface tension of any liquid. The next topic that we are going to see is the Jaeger's method which is used for the determination of a surface tension. So in last lecture, we have started with the fourth chapter, that is properties of matter, and we have seen the introduction to this topic, and we have studied one property of matter, that is surface tension. Now today we are going to see one method, that is Jaeger's method, which is used for the determination of a surface tension of different liquids. So we'll start with today's topic, that is Jaeger's method for determination of surface tension. Now when the column of liquid that rises in a tube dipping vertically into a liquid is slowly forced down by applying gas pressure, the pressure steadily increases to a well-marked maximum just before the bubble escapes from the end of the tube. Okay, so this is the basic principle on which this Jaeger's method is based on. And the scientist Jaeger it first employed this phenomena to measure the surface tension. Now, the apparatus which is used to determine the surface tension by using Jaeger's method is as you can see on the screen. Okay, so we will see in a detail how it works and how it is used to determine the surface tension of water or any other liquid that we want to find out. Now, the excess pressure inside an air bubble in a liquid is given as 2T by a small r, where T is the surface tension. Okay, excess pressure is given as 2T by small r. Okay, where capital T is the surface tension of the liquid and r is the radius of the bubble which is formed. Now this excess pressure is measured by using this Jaeger's method, which produces air bubble. Also knowing P and R, the surface tension of the liquid can be determined. Okay, if we know the excess pressure and if we know the radius R, we can find out the surface tension. Now in this method, the apparatus consists of a long thin glass tube AB. Okay, this is the glass tube AB that you can see on the right hand side of the diagram. Okay, so this is the tube AB. Now with its lower portion ending in a fine jet of about 0.2 to 0.5 millimeter diameter. Okay, the lower portion of this tube is around 0.2 to 0.5 millimeter in diameter. The tip of the glass tube AB at point B is quite smooth, and the glass tube AB is dipped into experimental liquid to about 4 to 5 centimeters of its length. Okay, so this this small h is about 4 to 5 centimeter of length. Okay, which that much amount of tube AB is inserted into a experimental liquid. The vessel containing the experimental liquid has diameter of about 8 to 10 centimeter, so that the liquid surface is flat. So this vessel has diameter of about 8 to 10 centimeter, so that liquid surface is flat. Now the glass tube is connected to a manometer M. Okay, so this instrument which is in between is called as a manometer, which is denoted as capital M. Okay, it is manometer. Okay, it is denoted as capital M, and Wolf's bottle. Okay, so this is Wolf's bottle and this is manometer. So the capillary this tube AB is connected to the manometer and the Wolf's bottle as shown in the figure, and it is fitted with a dropping funnel F which is containing water as shown in the figure. Okay, so this is dropping funnel F which is connected to again the Wolf's bottle. Now the liquid used in manometer is other than water, which has lower density, so that the difference in the level in the two limbs will be large. Okay, so these are the two limbs of manometer, and the liquid which is containing or placed inside the manometer is different than water, so that the difference between the two limbs, okay, it will be large. Now, due to capillary action, some liquid rises up into the tube AB. The shape of its meniscus is nearly hemispherical. Now, some air is forced into tube AB by dropping water into Volt's bottle, okay, which displaces its own volume of air from it. Now, the liquid column in AB is thus slowly moved down until it reaches to B, where bubble is formed over here. Now, when bubble is formed there, the radius of curvature of bubble, it gradually decreases with increasing pressure inside it until it reaches the minimum value, and the bubble acquires a hemispherical shape with the radius which is denoted as small r, which is equal to the diameter of the aperture at B. Now, the pressure inside the bubble is maximum, indicated by the difference capital H between the manometer, two limbs of the manometer, as shown in this figure. Okay, so what is happening as the water is dripping into the Volt's bottle from this funnel F? So that much amount of air which is present inside this Volt's bottle will be getting displaced by the water. So that air is passed through this tube, which is going to the through this tube AB. Okay, so the water which has entered inside tube AB due to capillary action will slowly start moving out from this tube AB, and at the end an air bubble will be formed at the tip of the tube AB at point B. So that air bubble will go, the diameter of that air bubble will go on increasing as the pressure inside that bubble is increasing. Okay, so it will be maximum pressure will be there when the difference between the two limbs of manometer is maximum, which is indicated by the difference, that is capital H, which is written over here. Okay, now the bubble now becomes unstable as it further grows. As its radius increases, the pressure inside it decreases due to surface tension. The equilibrium between the internal and external pressure is destroyed, therefore the bubble gets detached from the tube. The same process will repeat again. Now the accuracy in the result of surface tension will be more if bubbles from only one form only one at a time, and so slowly that it takes at least 10 seconds to form one bubble. Okay, so if the difference between formation of bubbles or two bubbles is more than 10 seconds, then we can measure the pressure difference, that is sorry, the level difference in the manometer, that is capital H, very clearly. Okay, so we can get a very accurate result for the surface tension. Now, this can be easily arranged by reducing the volume of air space above the water in Wolf's bottle, so that pressure in the apparatus falls to the value lower than required to blow another, and by properly regulating the flow of water from dropping funnel into the Wolf's bottle. Okay, if you control the dropping of water into the Wolf's bottle from the funnel by using this knob J, okay, we can maintain that time difference between the formation of two bubbles, which has to be more than 10 seconds. Now, just before bubble breaks away from B, the pressure inside it is equal to C. Now the pressure at C will be that is at this point. Okay, it will be P1, which is equals to capital P plus capital H rho G, where P is the atmospheric pressure and H rho G is the pressure due to the liquid column capital H in manometer, and rho is its density. Okay, due to this, where when the bubble just breaks from B, the pressure on it is equal to that at level of B in the beaker. So P2 is equals to P plus HdG, where H is the depth at the depth the tip B from the surface of the liquid in the beaker, and D is the density. H is depth at which the this small height H, okay, is how much amount of that water or that tube AB is inserted inside a experimental liquid, that is H. This is the density in the of the water or the experimental liquid. Now hence the excess of pressure inside the bubble is given as excess pressure inside the bubble will be given as P1 minus P2, which is equals to, now we know P1 is equals to capital P plus H rho G minus capital P plus small h D into G, which is again equals to G into H rho minus H D. But the excess pressure inside the bubble is equals to 2T by R. This we have defined at the starting of this experiment only. So if you equate this equation, is equals to 2T by R is equals to G into H rho minus small h into small d. So the surface tension T will become H rho minus HD divided by 2 into GR. So therefore, by measuring the height capital H, that is the difference between the two limbs of manometer, small h, that is how much amount of tube AB is inserted inside a experimental liquid, and R, that is radius of the capillary which is or the tube AB which is inserted in the experimental liquid. Okay, we can obtain the value of surface tension of the given liquid. As we already know the densities of the liquid that we must be using, and the G, that is acceleration due to gravity, that value we already know. So if you we can measure these three things, that is capital H, small h and small r, we can find out the surface tension of the experimental liquid that we want to find out by using the Jaeger's method. So in this way, by using Jaeger's apparatus, we can find out the surface tension of different types of liquids